Good evening and welcome to the premiere episode of Live Arts, the show that brings the visual and performing arts to the Millis community. Students at Millis High School are involved in countless activities that are seldom widely advertised to the public. Live Arts' mission is to present to you some of the amazing creativity that can be found right in our small town. On today's show, we'll bring you insight into the arduous application process required by art schools. We'll interview two art students with different backgrounds and goals, who both aspire to study visual art after graduating from Millis High School. Later in our program, we'll get the inside scoop on higher education arts admissions from our very own Mrs. Basement. Good evening and welcome to Live Arts. Today I'm here with Allie Whitaker and Maddie Mastrangelo, both students at Millis High School who are aspiring to apply to art school. Now, Allie, tell me a little bit about your experiences at Millis High School and how they've inspired you to apply to art school.
Well, I've been taking a lot of art classes, throughout my career in high school, and starting freshman year, I've taken Intro to Art, pottery, drawing, painting, and those classes, and I've been trying to get myself involved as much as possible with art programs here because they're really good programs, and that's helped to inspire me to further my career in art, I guess you could say.
Interesting. So where are you applying, Maddie?
I'm thinking mass art in Boston. I think it's close, it's good enough for me. Probably maybe even like Pratt, I think, and I'm not really sure anything else, but
okay. So are you looking for an art-focused school or a broader university?
I think I want to apply to an art school, just because I'm not hesitant of what I want to do. I'm pretty positive that art's going to be what I want to do.
That's cool. So you've been doing it for a while?
Yeah, since the 4th grade.
Oh, okay. And how about you, Allie?
I'm actually looking for more of a school with broader programs because I'm also very interested in theater. Mm-hmm. So I want a school that has both. And as far as art goes, I might want to look in the area of art education. So I need a school that has a good English program and, things like that. So as far as that, I don't want to go to just an art school. I want to probably look for more of a liberal arts school.
Okay.
So that's where I've been looking.
Where have you been looking at? Do you know?
Specific schools? I've looked at a lot of schools in Pennsylvania and New York, really random ones that probably not many people have heard of, but Moravian, Wilkes University, Manhattanville, and then possibly UMaine, Farmington, possibly Endicott, which is here in Massachusetts, but that might be a little bit too close for me.
Okay. So you're looking to go far away?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. What do you, as an aspiring art major, have to do as part of the application process? It must be different than general admissions.
Basically, art schools want to see self-portraits in almost every medium, just so they get a feel for what the student can do, what qualities and what they're good at, and what and also still lifes are also good. They want to see how an artist views things, their perspectives on what they see, so it just kind of sees how the artist is and how they do their art,
Mm-hmm. What do they look for specifically in art that what in your art would an admissions officer be interested in? I know we have some examples of your work, Allie.
Yeah, like Maddie said, they'll ask for a specific work that they want, or maybe they'll ask in terms of something from a certain period of your lifetime and what inspired you in that time, and show that work. Or they do look for a lot of self-portraits in many different mediums, like sketch portraits or paintings. But a lot of times they are very specific in what they want. That shows you and your art and how it comes through you. Yeah.
So do you feel emotionally connected to your work? Do you think it's something that might be difficult to show to other people who don't know you, the admissions officers?
It depends on the specific project or work, but usually I'm not ashamed of anything I've done. I'm not embarrassed of anything. When I'm explaining one of my artworks, it might be a little difficult for me to get it out sometimes and tell why I created it and what was going on in my life at that point, but for the most part, I'm pretty comfortable with it.
Okay. Do you feel the same way? Or?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not like ashamed of anything I've done. Everything that I've done, it is an expression of who I am, and that's a more reason to show people and you know, present it to people, if it's strangers or even just my friends, just because it's a way of just expression, you know.
Mm-hmm. Are academics a big focus of the schools you're looking at as much as your artistic portfolio?
I'm not really sure what, like, I know, like, strong points are, like, English is good to have, and to see, you know, creativity wherever you can express creativity is going to be a plus, and just basically, if you're a well-rounded student, and if, like, you know, if your artwork is up to par, or just if you're serious basically about art, like, you're going to be able to get into the school, and it's all about passion, I guess.
Well, that's good. How about you? You're looking for art education, so that might be more rigorous of an academic curriculum.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like Maddie said, they will, if you're looking to apply to, like, just specifically go for art, like, they'll really look at your art, mostly focus on that, but they want you to be well-rounded, and they're not going to say, like, oh, she can draw a circle, okay, she can go to art school.
Yeah.
Like, they, especially with art education, they'll look at, you know, your English, your past English grades and how you've done with reading and all that, so they definitely do look at your grades and make sure that you are a well-rounded student. I think that's really important to them.
Right. Do you feel prepared for art school? Like, do you think that Millis High School has really prepared you, or are you afraid that you might not have the experience necessary?
Well, there's always that feeling of, you know, not being sure if you've done enough, or you've taken all these art classes, or if you know, done everything you possibly can. It's hard to say because this is such a small school, and we do have one art teacher. And with that, you know, she only has, like, one perspective and one point of view, so it's, like, it's hard to just, you know, go from there. But I think that by doing stuff on your own time and doing stuff, you know, that Mrs. Baseman has, like, required in, like, whether it's computer art or painting and printmaking class, it's all about, like, getting your hands on as much as you can, whether it's, even if it's in, like, TV class or anything like that, whatever you can do,
right.
Take advantage of it.
Right. Do you feel prepared for your studies?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you know, it is a small school, and we do only have one art teacher, but I think the great thing about Mrs. Baseman is she's very versatile, and she does all the different classes, and
right.
you know, she's an excellent teacher in every area that she teaches, so that is very helpful, and I'm really grateful to have had experiences with her, because I feel more prepared than I think I would have been without her. I mean, it's hard to say, going from such a small school to any college, how prepared I am, but I think I'm getting there. I think I'm getting better.
Okay. How you applied to Art All States? So what is that experience? Both of you applied,
Yeah.
but what is Art All States, and what did it bring for each of you?
Art All State is about 150 students are nominated, you know, for to participate in this, and it took place at Worcester Museum, excuse me, and what it was is students were broken up into about 10 groups, and their groups they had to come up with, it's called an installation, when you take a room and you make it into something, you create it into something, and they had to collaborate and work together as a group, and to turn this room into something, and to just connect. And so Mrs. Basin had nominated both of us, and so we had to go, you know, through the applying process and writing, you know, essays, and we had to come up with 2 pieces for our slides and bring one to our interview. So it was kind of like a good experience before college, and it was definitely, like, helped us a lot.
Right. Allie, how did you feel that you didn't get to participate in Art All States, but the application process, as Maddie said, was very similar to that of college. How do you feel it's prepared you for the college application experience?
Oh, it definitely prepared me. It was like, what we had was kind of like a packet of specific questions about, you know, the art that we were submitting, and how, you know, how we were inspired and what we used and all that, and just the way, like, it was, and part of it was like a survey more about ourselves, and that was just, it was kind of like a practice application almost, I think, because they were really specific about what they wanted and about, like, you know, tell us about yourself type of stuff. And I think it really helped. Like, it was definitely a good experience to get a feel for what an application is like, especially for an art school.
So what do you want to do with art? What are your aspirations in the field?
Oh, I've had a dream ever since I was younger to be a part of Pixar Animations.
Really?
Yeah. I think I want to make it, you know, big. I want to do, like, art entertainment, basically. Whether it's in, like, Disney World, you know, making sets at Universal Studios and doing special effects, and just started getting, like, my hands on that kind of stuff, which is somewhat in my reach, hopefully.
That's good. And how about you? You mentioned art education, theater.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very interested in theater, love acting, but I also love art. So if there's a way I could combine the two, maybe set design, anything like that, somewhere in the art entertainment field, that would be amazing. And also art education. I like being with kids. I help Mrs. Baseman with her 6th grade class, and I have a lot of fun with that, and I think it would be fun to possibly be an art teacher. So, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still deciding, but
Well, that's good. Maddie, what is the greatest challenge that you faced or have faced or anticipate in your whole experience with art?
Oh boy, greatest challenge. You mean like with applying to colleges, or just like in general?
In general, just with relation to your aspirations.
Probably just being, or like knowing if what I do, what I create is going to be like not acceptable, but like just like impressive. You know what I mean? Like if people are going to be taken back by it, or if people are going to be like, you know, impressed and want to know, like, see more of my stuff.
So, Allie, what was your greatest challenge, do you think, in this whole experience?
it's hard sometimes for me to get inspired, but that's just one of my own personal issues. But sometimes I feel like the art that I create is good, like it looks good, but sometimes I have trouble like thinking of good ideas. You know, it's hard to explain, but that's been my greatest challenge so far. But like I said, the art classes have really helped me. You know, I visited a lot of art museums and really got involved myself, and it's helped me get inspired more and think about college and what they want to see and how I can create art and show the colleges who I am through my art. So that's been my greatest challenge, I think, so far.
So what advice would either of you have for a student who's aspiring to do the same thing, either an underclassman or someone who's also a senior? Like, what things can they do to prepare?
Probably just stick with it, you know. I think that it's important to just have, you know, keep your goals, like, within reach and not give up on, you know, your dreams, and, like, just to keep going and keep drawing, keep painting.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Just don't give up. If it's something that you love and you really want to do, just stick with it. And especially involve yourself, like really get involved with art if you want to pursue it after high school, because you want to be really well-rounded, and even in just like art. Like there's so many different types of art, and the arts, and just do, like, create, like just paint, like even on all your free time, just definitely continue your art, because they'll the colleges will be looking for a lot of stuff. So
and also to just not be afraid to, like, express yourself, you know, through art. It's one of the most, like, it's a very silent way too, but it's also very powerful at the same time. So
that's the best thing about art, is like there's no wrong answer. Like you can just that's what I like about it, is you can just create whatever is going on in your head and just put it on a piece of paper or whatever, or sculpt it. Or that's the best part of art, which is what I love about it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, both of you, and good luck in your aspirations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, we're here with Ms. Baseman, the art teacher at Millis High School. Now, describe your background in art. I mean, you went to school for art education.
Mm-hmm. I applied to, actually I wanted to be a teacher, and I didn't know if I wanted to be an art teacher or a regular, like, elementary school teacher. I applied to Mass College of Art, Salem State College, and UMass Amherst. And I got into Salem State, and I did not get into UMass Amherst, but I did get into Mass Art. And so I knew I would be a teacher, whether it was regular elementary or art. Since I got into mass art, and I always loved art, that's where I went.
Excellent. So how much experience do art schools, especially today, expect from high school students?
The surprising thing is kids have to show some amount of skill, but they don't have to be finished. And I think one of the biggest problems is students think they have to be perfect and they have to already look professional. But if you were already a professional, you wouldn't need to go to college.
Right.
So what they want to see that you're willing to be flexible, that you can try different medias, that you'll try different methods, and that you'll be willing to learn, basically.
So are Allie and Maddie's goals to apply to art school realistic?
Absolutely. Both of them really love art. They've loved it for a long time. They like to make art. They like the process of making art. And they have a ways to go. They have things to learn. And they both want to learn. They know they have things to learn.
What was your experience like in college? I mean, you said you wanted to go into art education. Has that always been what you wanted to do?
Pretty much, but I'm more, it had to do with the time frame in terms of women's rights. When I was applying to school, you're talking in 1965, 66, and that was a time when no one in my family had ever gone to college. I was the first one to go to college. So what could I be? I could be a teacher, I could be a nurse, or I could be a stewardess. And, the whole idea was that I was going to get married. And so teaching just seemed to me to be the thing that I had to do and that I would do. And I was lucky that I got to do it with art because I got into mass art.
Oh, that's good. So how can you use your background in art to help Allie and Maddie?
There's two different ways. One, having gone through the process myself. That's one thing. And two, I've helped many, many, many students here in Millis get through the process. And it's funny, when I first did my portfolio, when I did my own portfolio, I thought it was wonderful. And then once I got into art school and had my 4 years of training, I looked at my portfolio and said, oh, this was really terrible. Why did they let me in? Then I didn't look at it for years and years. And one year, when I was trying to convince a student, your portfolio is good enough. It's good. Don't worry about it. They don't expect you to be a finished artist. I brought in my portfolio, which I still have, and which I'll show you some pieces of. And when I pulled that portfolio out, years later, I realized now I could see the potential that the admissions committee saw in me. And I could also show the students the difference between what I did then and what I do now. And so that's one way. And the other way, of course, is advising kids on portfolios and having them get into school for the last 17 years.
Right.
And Millis has been very successful. We've had anywhere from 1% to 4% of the senior class go on into art schools each year.
That's amazing, because you don't hear about that often.
No, because it's, we're a small school. It's just a few kids.
But, even
Yeah.
but 4% of our schools, that's like 4
When
or
you-
5 people.
Exactly. When you
It's
put it
amazing.
in percentages, it's really, it's amazing. It's
That's
wonderful.
great. So what advice do you have for students at different stages of the process, like for, freshmen or seniors, or people interested in art?
Well, in the beginning of the school year, I give to I give to everybody. There's a
Yeah.
book that comes out once a year, and it lists lots of different art colleges. And I encourage kids at every age level, at every grade, to send away for catalogs. I mean, colleges are very anxious early on to send catalogs, and to look through them and see, is there anything in it that appeals to them? And of course, my classes are mixed, so I have any given class can have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors in it. It's often a mix. So the younger kids watch the older kids prepare. So that works really well.
Right. So you think that has a big influence on the younger kids applying
Yeah, I
to
think
college?
so. I think so.
That's good. So what can someone, say a junior in high school, do if they want to go into art?
Make art. It's the big thing. It's like practice, practice, practice. Make art. The more art you make, the more prepared you'll be.
That's good.
That's probably the most important thing. The next most important thing is the same process that every other kid goes through applying to college. Figure out how far away from home you're willing to go, figure out how big or small a college you want, figure out do you want to go to a school that's only art, or you want to go to a university that has a good art department. You know, be realistic in terms of do you grade. Some of the art schools require high grades. And so do your homework in all of your classes and make art. That's what I recommend.
Yes. So someone from Millis really could go to art school and have a career in art.
Absolutely. Many kids
Yes.
from Millis have gone to art school and do have career in the arts. Justin Hansen, who did the mural in the cafeteria, is in New York City as we speak, or so I heard recently. He went to Ringling School of Art. He became an absolutely fabulous illustrator. The things I've seen so far were children's illustrations, watercolor. They're exquisite, absolutely exquisite.
Excellent. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We're all set.
I hope I gave you something good.
I like the arts. I'm a DJ and I love music. I have tons of artists on my iPod. That's my life. I don't know what I'd do without my iPod and my music. Music's kind of like, I don't know, it just gets me going.
Before I went into teaching music, I was working all sorts of different kinds of jobs, some of which were not related to the arts or music, and I found myself in a sort of a void. I found myself kind of feeling down sometimes, and I felt like I needed to go somewhere where I could have that in my life on a daily basis. So obviously, you know, between performing and teaching, they mean everything to me. So.
Say whatever.
Talk now. I believe that art changes everything, and it's really important to me because it allows me self-expression, and I don't have to be loud about it. It can just be silent, and it's always been a passion of mine. It's always been my favorite thing ever, and getting into an art college is also great because I'm able to further my career in what I love to do most.